I'm Yara Sophia.
Yara.
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 Yara. Yara. Yara.
Yara.
Yara.
Yara. Yara.
Yara Sophia.
She looks metallic. 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 Metallic.
Though I can't quite recall of the night's sensation.
All-Star 6, what's probably going to be one of the best season of RuPaul's Drag Race in ages. Well, it doesn't take much after, season 13 and Down Under, whatever that thing was. It's redemption season. I was thoroughly entertained. The casting was great. The casting was amazing. I mean, look at me praising World of Wonder. You never see that happen. Ever. Shitting on World of Wonder, it's kind of this channel shtick. Now, what do we have in this review? A non-talent show for episode 1, a Gagatondra of dresses for episode 2. It's redemption season, but only for some. Others will be thoroughly thrown under the bus. And yes, I'm talking to you, Gensport. Then we have a little bit of confessional extravaganza. The queens suffering from a sudden attack of aphasia because apparently after 11 years nobody remembers that it's pronounced Jara and not Yara. Yet everybody keeps saying Yara, to the point that when I talk about her, I'm like, yes, Yara, and then I think, fuck, they got to me. They got to me as well. Then we have some interesting cryptiques because it's RuPaul's Drag Race, so we need to have our weekly dose of bullshits. And charts. We have a ton of charts, including the confessional charts for both episodes that we're going to see during the speculation section of the show. We're going to talk about the edits, the possible top 4, and what the hell do they mean when they say a game within a game. That will all be in the speculation section. And if you're watching this as an episode, remember the shop is a live show that airs every Sunday, so come to the live stream, say hello. You're welcome. Can we talk about those 2 episodes at once for a moment? Because All-Star 6 airs on Paramount Plus, a streaming service. You have a monthly subscription. What's the point of airing 2 episodes at once? I didn't really get that. I thought it was a really stupid decision, but then again, it's Paramount Plus, formerly known as CBS All Access, a service that's not really known for smart decision. And yes, I'm talking to you, Star Trek Discovery. Also, from Paramount Plus, let's not forget, they are redoing The Brady Bunch. Yes, with drag queens. But if you ask me, you can't really wash bleach away. And if you know what I mean, good. If you don't know what I mean, then there is an episode of Family Guy that kind of explains it very well, if you ask me.
All the shows are in widescreen now, so you can see all the stuff on the sides that you couldn't before.
We now return to the Brady Bunch.
Here's what you used to see, and here's the stuff you missed.
This is Paramount Plus for you. Have fun. Now, let's review the cast for a moment, like real quick. The cast is incredible, it's varied, it's strong, it's all queens that have something to prove. There is a redemption available to everyone, and some of those queens have waited a long time to actually appear on this season. First up is Kyria Davenport, and she comes with a set of new teeth. The dress is beautiful, but personally I'm not impressed. I don't dislike Kyria, but I don't like her either. She's just bland for me. She is polished, she looks beautiful, but it ends up there. My partner lives for her, I don't see it, but Let's hope for the best. Then we have Jiggly Caliente. Finally, we get to see Jiggly. She was a complete mess on season 4. She also explained that she had issues while she was filming season 4. And of course, she's talking about being trans, coming out as a trans woman. She looks stunning. Jiggly looks absolutely beautiful. The only thing that I have to say is that what she's not saying in this segment, it's that much of her problems came out also from a shoddy production because, and thanks to Fantasia that sent this to me, apparently Willem spilled the tea, of course Willem spilled the tea, that they were emotionally exploiting Jiggly because on the anniversary of her mother's death, you know what they did? According to Willem, of course, during Untucked, they sent Jiggly a message reminding everyone of what happened a year before, which was kind of manipulative. It was kind of fucked up. So, I know Jiggly can't say that, but don't worry, I'm here, I can say it. They fucked you up, and they fucked you up again. So, that was Redemption for Jiggly. I hope you all enjoyed it. I enjoyed her. I wanted to see more personally, but you know, it is how it is. Then we have Jen Sport. I thought it was too soon for Jen. You don't really have time to evolve in 1 year because let's not forget, she filmed season 12. 1 year later, season 12 aired. Then she had like what, 2 or 3 months to interact with the fandom, and then she came on All Stars. It was just too soon. I mean, they can pretend that they have this huge evolution and whatever it is, but at that age, change takes a little bit of time. Growth takes a little bit of time, takes effort. I think it was just too soon for Jen, and it was a terrible decision that she decided to compete. And apparently a lot of people had the same opinion on this because she actually responded to these people and saying, listen, when you get the call, you get the call. That's how business works. And generally, I would agree with it. But you also have to be smart enough to sometimes realize that maybe you should pass one call. And if it comes again later on, fantastic. But if it's going to damage you, then there is absolutely no point to accept the call. And this is exactly what's happening to Jen in All Stars. Jen is one of those queens who's being completely thrown under the bus. She's our first nomination for a villain edit in All Stars, and this season is doing her no favors whatsoever. Moving on, we have Raja. Raja is here to get a redemption, and she is owning everything. Raja is killing the competition. She is a total killer in the editing room. She is constantly on screen. She has time to explain herself, and she has time to hone herself and explain to the viewer, yes, I am a bad bitch. But that's just a part of a bigger picture, and we get to see that bigger picture. Raja is getting an incredible edit. Everything is really falling in the right place for Raja. I have no doubt that she will come out of All Stars a complete winner, even if she doesn't win. Then we have Ginger. Ginger, I don't know what the fuck she's wearing. But Ginger was on All Stars 2 already. I get it, she's in desperate need of redemption as well, but I would have preferred to see someone from very, very early seasons, you know? Ginger was like 4 years ago, she was on All Stars. Where is Jade from season 1? Where is Jessica Wilde? For God's sake, where is Alyssa Summers? But we have Ginger, and thank God we have Ginger, because if they are going for that representation spot in the top 4, that's the big girl that I want to see there. There are no other options for me. Then we have Yara Sofia from season 3 and All Stars 1. The best season of All Stars, right? Yara did very well in season 3 and All Stars 1. It's nice to see her separated from Alexis because for me, in my memory at least, they were like a package. They were a package in season 3, they were a package in All Stars 1. So right now she is standing on her own and she is fucking herself up. And the editors are more than happy to take advantage of all of that. Next up, we have Silky Nutmeg Ganache, and we need to take a moment in here because I need to explain you a couple of things. With Silky, I didn't really care for her edit. You know what is my approach with this show. The edit is the edit, the person outside is the person outside. So I didn't really care for the edit. I wasn't particularly enjoying the person outside, so I mostly ignored her. That's how I relate to Silky. The problem is that after filming All Stars that happened in the summer of last year, this January she thought it would have been a great idea to go on vacation in Mexico with Shangela and Miss Vanjie. While everybody was trying to be socially responsible, some people were in quarantine, some people were in lockdown, and she went on vacation. This is the point with Silky. She is not stupid. You've seen how she behaves on the show, how she was conscious of the edit that she got on season 11. She is not stupid. She has a master degree, for fuck's sake. She's one of the smartest people in that room. That's inexcusable. That's just inexcusable. So I will try my best to be objective toward Silky, because this is still a review. And you got very used to the idea that my personal opinion is one thing, but the review is another thing, especially when it concerns the edit. So I will do my best to keep the two things separate, but I will not forget what happened. And personally, to me, she will not be called Silky anymore. She is the resident queen of Puerto Vallarta. Next up we have Pandora Box, and Pandora is one of my favorite queens of all time. I know, she is old school queen, she does a different kind of drag comparing to the newer girls, but don't forget, the first season of Drag Race that I ever watched was season 2, and she was my absolute favorite queen of that season, almost on par with Tatiana and Jessica Wilde. So I have a very positive bias toward Pandora, but again, I will try to be objective on that as well. Now, Pandora has something to prove, because as you know, on All Stars 1 she was portrayed like basically a bitch, and that it's a narrative that works until you actually understand Pandora. That is a person that suffered from major depression disorder, and I can completely understand the personal impact of coming to All Stars and then realizing that you are going to be paired to someone like Mimi First. So, you know, in a way, I never hold it to Pandora. I thought it was catastrophic how All Stars 1 basically cut her career short, because she had all the cards to be a very successful drag queen, way more successful than she is today. We have one more thing about Pandora. Pandora went on Twitter complaining and tagging World of Wonder and Drag Race that they shaded her during her entrance, and Pandora got it the wrong way. It was a good thing, Pandora. That's a good edit. It makes you look like a victim, because age is not something that you can control. So if someone calls you old, even if it's a joke, we as the viewer are going to empathize with you. It's a good thing, Pandora. Get your head in the game. That's really important, and don't do shit like this. Don't tag World of Wonder, don't tag Drag Race. You are there to be beautiful, be funny, and smile. All the shit that goes on behind the scenes, we'll try our best to cover all of that. Don't worry, but don't do shit like this. None of these queens should do shit like this. Be nice, smile, be beautiful, read your contract, and that's it. Moving on. Scarlet Envy. Oh my god, yes! Yes! The real winner of season 11, in my opinion. She's incredible, she is beautiful, she is stupid. I'm talking about the character, of course. She always looks on point, and I love her attitude, her diva attitude, because she makes fun of herself. She's not really that diva. She makes fun of being a diva, and that's something that's really difficult to do, and something that made me fall in love with Scarlet. She definitely deserves the spot on All Stars, but unfortunately, as we're going to see, this is not going to be her time. Next up, we have Serena Chacha from season 5, the laughing stock of Reddit. But Serena worked her ass off in all these years. She has a wig business. She always looked incredible. And by looking incredible, look at this picture that came from, I think it was the Cringe subreddit. This is Serena, how she came to DragCon. On the left. On the right, you have Evie Oddly. And I think This picture says it all about commitment. Serena committed herself to hard work, much like Yu Hamasaki. And Yu Hamasaki today, she is a legend. She is very successful. She's successful on YouTube. She does her thing. A ton of people support her. She built a huge fan base by working hard. And I wish that Serena had actually a chance to do exactly that, because she is a hard worker. So to see her go home first, for me, it was heartbreaking. I was expecting more. She deserved more. But as we're going to see later on, there might be more to that story as well. Then we have Kylie. This woman is everything. I don't have the fluency to describe the way I feel. I am confused. I am slightly aroused. I don't understand it, but I want more. Give me more. And you know that Kylie deserved her chance. If you remember, back in the day, there was this thing called the Holly Slay Spectacular. Do you know what the Holly Slay Spectacular actually was? You don't? Well, I'm not surprised. Let me tell you, I'm not surprised. It was one long episode of RuPaul's Drag Race when they basically promoted RuPaul's Christmas album. And Kylie was in there, talking about this service. So she deserved a proper chance, and to me, she is the winner of this season. There is no contest. Everything is in its right place, including, and don't forget about that, the network line of thinking. She's a trans woman, this is representation, and if you know anything about the Viacom CBS corporation, is that they want to make representation a reality in all of their media. Don't forget that in season 13, Gottmik got to the top 4 with good makeup. And that was it. So if Gottmik got to the top 4, then Kylie can win this season. And she has to win this season. And I will not take any objection. At all. Moving on, the last two queens, we have Trinity K. Bonet, the lip-sync assassin of season 6, and I'm really excited to see Trinity. We are in desperate need of more queen from season 6, including Darian Lake and Jocelyn Fox, and Laganja, of course. Let's not forget that Laganja allegedly was offered a spot on All Stars 2 and refused, which was a great move on her part. I'm happy to see Trinity. Her edit is nothing to gag on, but there might be a twist to it. And I hope to see her lip sync, because you cannot have Trinity K. Bonet in there and not have her win a fucking challenge so that she could slay a lip sync. That would be a crime against humanity. And next up we have Eureka. There was a picture of Eureka from her promo. They edited out one of her fingers. So I was thinking, yes, Eureka, we found her, yes. Unfortunately, we lost one of her fingers. Eureka is not very bright. I think that everybody knows that. But in a way, I find her cluelessness, in a way, it's endearing to me. I enjoyed Eureka generally, except when she thinks she is in the right. The moment Eureka thinks she's in the right, it becomes catastrophic. It goes downhill. Oh, yes, I wanted to show you this. This just came off from Twitter, from Eureka's Twitter. I know, sometimes Eureka is so stupid and she says the stupidest shit whatsoever, but when she wants to be funny, she really hits the mark. I was shitting my pants when I saw this. Now, there is something that I want you to notice about the entrances for All Stars. Each queen actually has a confessional. It's a narrating confessional in which she is introducing herself. And something interesting happens in here, because I counted all of those confessionals and the time they stayed on and came off with a chart. Do you see something interesting happening in there? Because Kylie towers them all. You see, everybody else had like 20-30 seconds. Kylie had 50. And confessionals are those intimate moments when we get to know the contestants. And we are 10 minutes in, and this is what you see. And to me, that's a sign that my dream is coming true. To me, that's already a sign. Now, we have RuPaul coming in, and RuPaul is saying, oh, we have a 14th queen. Turns out the 14th queen is Miss Piggy. And I'm like, no, stop. Stop doing this shit. Stop trying to cater to kids. You know, there is a difference between teaching kids to be open-minded and exposing them indiscriminately to a kind of mature entertainment that shouldn't be for them. Drag Race is not for them. We have puns about taking the anal options. We have themes that are not suitable for kids who are 5 or 6 years old. Stop doing this shit. Stop trying to cater to kids, because we already had that challenge in season 13. You remember this challenge? And whatever is this shit that Nina West was doing on Disney Plus, stop trying to profit from that kind of market. I know it's a profitable one, but this show and its affiliates, including the Queens, they are crossing a line that they are not supposed to be crossing. That's my opinion on that. Now, the library is open. The best mini challenge in Drag Race is finally here. But it's also time to, of course, shit on Serena Chacha, because by the end of this episode she has to go home. So while everybody is busy reacting with bluff for almost everybody else, Serena is greeted with nothing, absolutely zero.
Ginger Minge, the actor of the group. Can you finally act like you have some taste? Pandora's box. Now you're supposed to be the box that unleashes all the evil on Earth. Is bitterness one of them? Ooh.
Ginger wins the mini challenge. She gets a gift card from, whatever it is. But you know, it's free publicity for Asia O'Hara, so I'm not going to complain about that. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but we had 13 queens in there, which means each one of them read everybody else. We saw 27 reads out of 156. Do you know how much that is? It's 17%. You know, when they nitpick the reads that we get to see, you know that there is some interesting information in there, because with those reads, they are going to convey the Queen's storylines. So of course, I made a chart of all of this, and here it is. Almost everybody got 2 reads. Well, basically everybody but Ginger got 2 reads. Ginger got 3, of course, because she has to win. And notably, Serena is the only one that has a negative reception for both of her reads. And of course, what happens by the end of the episode? She goes home. Look at Jen. She has a neutral reception and a negative reception. The same goes for Akiria. And the resident queen of Puerto Vallarta, she had a positive one and a negative one. And now that the library is finally closed, let's go back to the workroom, because it's time to shit on Jen. What happens in here? Well, she comes out and says, well, I'm happy to be here and I am excited to be everyone's cheerleader. She's doing basically this sisterhood bullshit thing that I've been calling out in season 13 so many times. It's getting on my nerves, it's boring, you can be friends outside, don't pretend that you have been 5 hours in there and we have like a blood bond between each other. I know, it's a traumatic experience to be on Drag Race and that bonds people, but you know, it's starting to sound like disingenuous bullshit, so don't do it. And Raja is having none of it. And conveniently, we are shown that.
I'm excited to cheer everyone on. Yeah. I'm such a cheerleader, I'm telling you.
Bitch, what? Back in my day, we didn't do all that kumbaya.
Okay.
We did the hayaku, hayaku.
And I'm like, yes, Raja. I'm really sorry for Jen. But Raja was completely right. And this is another bump for Raja's edit, because as she is being elevated, Jen is pushed down even more. Now that we've shit on Jen a little bit more, it's time for the runway. And we have RuPaul. We have RuPaul in her best impersonation of Tina Burner impersonating Rosé. And that makeup is terrible. Ru looks terrible. I understand the struggle, Raven, I understand it. Raven is a great makeup artist, but she is nowhere near the artistry of Matthew Anderson. Oh good god, what do we have next? Oh, the talent show. Now, I know that all of you have different opinions. I respect all of them. My opinion is that if you go on All Stars and you're going to the talent show, you have to showcase something. And that something cannot be lip syncing. Well, yes, it can be lip syncing. It has to be on Aja's level of lip syncing for All Stars. But lip syncing is one of the basic talents of a drag queen. I'm already expecting that you excel at lip syncing. Show me something during this talent show. Do you know how many queens lip synced for this talent show? To me, this was unforgivable. It looks lazy. I know that they all put a ton of effort in, paying someone to produce the music. Maybe some of them wrote the lyrics, then you need to auto-tune everything, then you need to prepare an outfit. I understand that, and I respect that, okay? But also respect the fact that as a viewer, I'm not entertained. To everybody who lip synced in this talent show, unless you do something with it, you should be on the bottom. Hi there. Sorry for the interruption. You know, what you're listening to actually aired on Sunday, and when I originally reviewed the variety during the live stream, I said that these queens that you see here should have been in the bottom because it's unacceptable that singers would lip sync on a show. And for about 20 minutes I had a discussion with the viewers about what really happened. Some insisted that they sung live, others realized that there was something going on, some brought up that back vocals were used, but at the end of the day, the question was, why would this queen, who can clearly hold a tune, lip sync? Now, I had little to no doubt that what we heard in the episode was not live, because when you compare it to the studio version, the singing is basically identical, not to mention that there are immaculate transition, the perfect pitch, and the absence of breathing noises, and those are all clear signs of a recorded version rather than a live performances. But still, it makes sense to me to keep asking, why would they lip sync? They were either wearing a microphone or holding a microphone, so what the hell is going on? So when I had time on Tuesday, I went back to the episode and watched it closely, hoping to find something, maybe clues of a much bigger picture that could reconcile all of our opinions on the situation. And guess what? I actually managed to find what I was looking for. The key word here is making a difference between what actually happened during filming and what was shown to us in the final version of the episode. During Jen's performance, I managed to catch a glimpse of Jen's live singing, heavily covered by the alleged studio version of the song. And during Kylie's performance, there was a moment in which her lips are not even synchronized with the lyrics.
So when I hit the stage, I know I lead the race. But for the girls like us, I hit the stage, I know I lead the race.
And Ginger's performance was the worst offender because it looks like there was no live at all, only the studio version. Now, based on that, I think that we were both right and wrong at the same time, and the truth might very well be somewhere in the middle. What do I mean by that? In a way, you guys were right in saying that the queens did sing live during the recording on the show, but it also looks like the performance was covered up in post-production. In Jen's case, her live singing is almost completely overpowered by the studio version, while in Kylie's and Ginger's case, it looks like there was no trace left of their original live performance. So why would they do this? Well, that is up to speculations, of course, but to me there is a very, very simple explanation. It just makes them sound better. Because people are used to listen to autotune music, and that's the only thing that they understand. Perfect pitch, perfect transitions, and nothing else. They don't see the appeal of live singing unless it's Adele level of exceptionally good. It just sounds messy to them, and that's in a way not even their fault, because ears are like a muscle, and when you get them accustomed to autotune music, you kind of become unable to fully appreciate live performances. But there is a beauty in imperfect transitions, or in the way slight changes of tempo modulate the performance in strange and unique ways, or how timbre gives personality to the singer's interpretations, and much, much more. And all that beauty is only one click away. Just train your ears. So what I want to say is that based on all of that, I am editing out the critiques that I had on Sunday for Jen, Kylie, and Ginger. I cannot critique them because there is no way for me to know what they actually sounded like. Now, moving on to Pandora. Pandora lip-synced as well, but at least she tried to do something with it. She has a little bit of a reveal, she is camping it up, the song is stupid, she's spraying strings from her titties. She is trying to do something. Now, was I blown away from her performance? Absolutely not. But to me, at least she was safe. Or even high when compared to everybody else, because Pandora put a ton of effort to actually bring a show, even though she's just lip-syncing. In addition, Pandora received a positive confessional. Remember, Jen didn't get one, but Pandora got one. Moving on to Jiggly Caliente. Jiggly looks beautiful. She looks fantastic. And this is a common theme for Jiggly. Even though she's wearing simple things, they always fit really well. She always looks beautiful. Unfortunately, she is lip-syncing as much as everybody else, and there is not much else happening. So, as I said before, for me, this is thoroughly deserving on the bottom. I'm sorry, Jiggly, but this is how I'm going to judge this All-Stars variety show. I was expecting more from a lot of them. This was a huge letdown for me. And then we have Raja, and Raja was... oh my god, she did a great job. This is exactly what I want to see. She's suing, and you know, suing, it's not, you might think suing is not even entertaining. She's making it entertaining by relying on something that became a meme. You remember Bianca Del Rio making dresses live on stage, and she did fantastic. Raja absolutely killed this show, and she received 3 positive confessionals, but she didn't win, and for a good reason, because you, the viewer, have to notice her. That's why you have 3 confessionals in there, and you have to be convinced that she was robbed, so you will root for her and she will be your hero, and it worked. It worked fantastically. Moving on, I was not particularly impressed with Akira, but you can see that she is lip-syncing and actually put effort in it. She had a little bit of a reveal, she's owning the stage, she goes back and forth, she's living her best life. Of course, she's not Aja, but she's working it. So for me, at least, her performance should be safe. Maybe low, because of the lip-sync thing that we talked about before, but you know, she worked it. And she received 1 positive confessional, which is a good thing, because from the chart from the reading challenge, it looked like they were going to throw her under the bus. So we're going to see about that. Next up, we have Trinity. And Trinity tried to do something different and failed. Now, I don't know if they edit her to bomb this bad, because, you know, they record their performances twice. So it looks to me like they took the worst of it and showed us the worst of it. She receives 3 negative confessionals. Not only she's the only queen to get negative confessionals, she gets 3. 3. So, based on what we were shown, and I don't have access to the original footage, so I don't know if she really was that bad, well, she's thoroughly deserving of the bottom. This thing was terrible. I had second-hand embarrassment looking at it, and I felt so sorry for Trinity. I was expecting so much more. After this aired, I thought she is going to go home first. Next up is Eureka, and Eureka is doing what? She is lip-syncing. A beautiful song, a beautiful message, but she is standing there and she's not really doing much. So I understand that not doing much was going with the theme of the song, was going with the choreography, but then again, that's another queen that's lip-syncing and it's not blowing my mind. So for me, this performance as well was thoroughly deserving of the bottom. Next up, Scarlett was the star of this talent show. For me, she was the winner. I don't understand how she didn't win this. This thing is rigged as fuck, as usual, but for me, she was the most entertaining one. She did something different. It was stupid. It was campy. She looked sexy. She had a reveal. She played with those bubbles as if they suddenly became her boobs. I was living for all of it. I was entertained. I was very entertained by Scarlett. To me, she deserved to win this, or at least be in a high position next to Raja. Next up, we have the resident queen of Puerto Vallarta. I wasn't very much entertained by what she did. But then again, she tried to do something different. She sat there, she sang live, and she's the only one whose live actually made it to the final episode if they indeed covered up the live singing of everybody else. She is playing the piano, she's trying to engage the other queens and the panel of judges. She's working it. You know, and when you compare to what everybody else is doing, to me, this performance is worthy of at least a high position. Not a win, by all means, but to me, she was in a high position because she put in the effort. This didn't look lazy to me. Now, I don't like that outfit, and I don't like the padding, but this is a common theme. But overall, to me, she deserved at least a high position for this. Next up, we have Serena Chacha, and Serena is lip-syncing, again, like everybody else, but at least she's trying to do her thing. She has wigs in the background, she has a little bit of a reveal. I thought that her outfit, the one that she actually revealed, was beautiful, absolutely on brand with Serena. She's always on point, she always looks fantastic to me, but she is lip-syncing like everybody else. So if it's not a bottom position, at best she should be low, because she is lip-syncing like everybody else, and there is nothing else going on. And next up, we have the last queen of tonight, Yara Sofia, and you know, Yara was incredible. She received 2 confessionals, both from Ginger, both positive confessionals. She is going to win the challenge because of this. I don't agree it was really deserving of a win because she is lip-syncing as well. But at least she is camping it up to 200. This thing is stupid, it's ridiculous, I have no idea what the fuck is going on, but I can tell you, I was a formula baby, so the moment you jiggle those titties, I'm sold. I'm already sold. There's no escaping that. So, she jiggled her titties to the top. And good for Yara. Now, it's time to move on to the Cryptique, and the Cryptiques were fairly good. Now, we have Eureka, Akiria, Jiggly, Jen, Kylie, Ginger, and Scarlett. They are all safe. At this point, I'm thinking, Scarlett was at least in a high position. How come she is safe? Well, I have the sneaking suspicions that whatever happened to Denali in season 13 is going to happen to Scarlett in this season, because she was not even put in a high position. She was safe, at the same level of queens who came on stage lip-syncing, not doing much, and basically doing all the same thing. So, moving on to the Cryptiques, we have the resident queen of Puerto Vallarta. And to her, they tell her that her song changed tempo halfway, and I'm like, Carlson, have you ever been to a live performance? She is beautiful, they love the outfit, whatever. She had great energy, I wouldn't actually say it was great. The performance fell a little bit, I guess that's true, and she can play the piano, and it was fun to watch. I kind of agree with the Cryptiques, but I don't think that she deserved to actually go to a low position for what she did. She should at least be safe, because she did something different. She put in the effort, she entertained me, and, you know, even though personally I don't like her, objectively she wasn't deserving of a low position for what she did. Now, to Trinity, they say that she looked incredible, they loved her hair, she stumbled and she got nervous during her performance. And strangely, I agree with all of this, except that we will never know what actually happened. What we see is what the editors want us to see. So I do agree with what I was shown by the editors. I don't know if that is what really happened. Now, Raja, they compare it to Bianca, which is always a good thing. They told her she was very impressive, people would buy that dress. And I mean, from the television, yes, it looks good, but no, nobody would buy that dress. Not in that form. You know, an elevated version of that dress, for sure, it looks beautiful. But, you know, no, nobody would buy that. And she was smart to only show the back of the fabric. And I'm like, have you ever even seen someone sew something? Because you sew from the back. You don't sew from the front. Otherwise, the seams appear on the outside of the outfit. It was smart showing the back of the fabric. Yeah, sure. And then they go to Yara and they say it was stupid. Stupid is good. She was hysterical. She might be insane. And I agree with all of that. I mean, look at me. It's All Stars season 6 and I agree with most of the critiques. If it goes on like this, we will start to call them critiques. That would be an innovation. Next up, Pandora. Pandora was funny, she looked stunning, she was entertaining, she kept us engaged all of the time, and she was so funny and enjoyable. And I'm like, no. Pandora was okay. I love you, Auntie. I see that you put all the effort that you could in there. She looked good, but stunning is something else. Her performance was okay. It was not hilarious, but I have a fucked up sense of humor, so you know that already. I kind of agree with the Cryptiques for Pandora, but they have a very positive bias toward her, which is a good thing. But then again, if you have to have a positive bias towards someone, then you're going to have a negative bias towards somebody else. Jen, for example. And last but not least, Serena Chacha. She looked beautiful, she evolved, it was a good idea, but the execution was bad and she didn't cha-cha enough. That's why she is in the bottom, because she didn't cha-cha enough. And I'm like, let's cut the bullshit right away. Serena was not the worst of the bunch. A lot of people were very bad, as much as she was, and that's not the point. The point is that if you look at the contract, there is a clause that very specifically says you will not push any product. You will not advertise your shit. And Serena bent that rule because she has a wig business and she had a song about wigs. I kind of have a feeling that production was having none of that. And that for me is the real reason why she was eliminated first. Because you know that we were all here to see her redemption, at least see her there a couple of episodes. But what she did was unforgivable. You don't use Drag Race to plug your shit. You bring your shit so that it becomes their intellectual properties and then they can plug it and make money on that. That's how things are on RuPaul's Drag Race. Pandora and Raja are high. Oh, high on what? Well, I don't know about that. I'm not saying anything. Yara wins, and don't get it twisted. They're going to shit on Yara very, very soon. As much as the next episode already. So don't get the strange idea that Yara really has a chance to win this thing. Do you remember what happened to Utica in season 13? She won one challenge, immediately the episode after, they shat on her big time. And the same thing is going to happen to Yara. So don't get it twisted. This win was not to celebrate her. It was to convince you that Raja was robbed. She is the real winner. And in the bottom, we have Trinity K. Bonet and Serena Chacha. Of course, the resident queen of Puerto Vallarta is declared low. She is safe. Now, the queens have to decide who they actually want to eliminate. So, we are moving back to the workroom and to Untucked. And in Untucked, we see the safe queens. Now, what's happening in here? Well, first of all, and you might notice this is not sponsored by Bubbly Bound Sparkling Water, which is a good thing, but unfortunately we don't get to see Jada Essence Hall. And if you ask me, there's never enough Jada, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to edit her in. Now, during Untucked, a couple of interesting things happen. We have proof that Ginger can add up, because she comes out and says, listen, for me, the resident queen of Puerto Vallarta might even win this whole thing. And that I thought as well, because she did really good compared to everybody else. And then she said that Serena was smart because she sang a song about wigs while owning a wig business. And Ginger hit the nail on the head. That's exactly the point. That's exactly the thing that she shouldn't have done. Now, of course, we also have proof that Eureka is not very bright, because she comes out saying, well, to me, Pandora was one note. And I'm like, yes, Eureka, you are funny. That's not up for discussion. But who was not one note? Because, you know, you can count the people who were not one note on one hand, and you're still left with a ton of fingers. And after that, it's time for RuPaul's Drag Race support group. So Eureka is crying, Ginger is crying, Jiggly is crying, and I don't mean any disrespect to anybody else's story, but I'm not here for the support group. That was not the Untucked that I want to see, so I skipped through all of this section. And to me, Kylie is the only one who is getting her message across, like, in a mature way. You don't see her desperately crying and going on. She's like, this is what went on with me, and this is how I became the person that I am today. And that's fine. You know, I get it that you need to show vulnerability, but this timing is awfully convenient. I know it's terrible to think that when you hear the things that they are saying, but I cannot help myself. And it's not entertaining to me. This really starts to sound like a support group. This scene goes on for like 10 minutes. 10 minutes! I don't know. Now, do you know what time is it? Johnny Boy Toy, it's time for a break. Jenny Lopez, time for lunch. Cobblestone, the energy drink. No, yes, it's also time for an energy drink, but that's not the time that I meant. Sasha, time to talk about the edits. Yes, you're getting closer. You are getting closer. Ooh, Odd Front Wig, it's time to shit on Jen. Yes. It's time to shit on Jen again with this fantastic editing masterpiece. So you have Jen basically saying, oh, it's so nice to be here. I looked up to all of you over time and I already feel such sisterhood. And the moment she says the word sisterhood, all the scene cuts to somebody. I think this was not editing. This happened in real time, because you have a talent handler going to Scarlett saying, Scarlett, come here, it's your turn to vote. And Scarlett responds is like, oh yeah, I feel such a sisterhood too, now I have to go. That was incredible.
Here's the thing. Obviously, I was on season 12 and didn't get to do like DragCon, and didn't get to go around and tour, meet all the fans. But I have to say, being here with all of you right now and just being around like entertainers and performers that I have looked up to for years is so amazing to me. And I feel such a sisterhood.
Scarlett, we're ready for you to vote.
I feel a sisterhood too. I'll see you later, okay?
Bye.
That was incredible. And they have this, and this was probably done in editing, they have this shot of Jen's face. Jen is like stone face. She's like, oh my god, what the fuck is happening? I was just plugging the sisterhood thing. And Scarlett hate her alive. I mean, yes, they are shitting on Jen. They are shitting on Jen, it's undeniable. But Jen is not in the game. She's not understanding the cast. She's not understanding their personality. And she is not really reading the room. If you continue to push the sisterhood bullshit, they will read you to filth. And then the editors will completely destroy you. Because this is what they are doing to Jen. This is her headed. This is her headed. So I hope that things will change, but I don't see a bright future for her, because we still have episode 2. And we're going to shit on Jen a lot more. Now, after this, we find out that Yara is going to Manila everybody, and I'm here for all of it. And in a way, I still want to see Trinity lip sync. But when I look back, I'm like, I want to see a little bit more of Serena, at least for one more episode, because Trinity I already fell in love with on the show. Nobody actually know who Serena is today. You know, she's still the laughingstock of the whole fandom. So in a way, I would have found peace with that decision. Let's say it like this. And then we go to the main stage. We find out that the lip sync assassin is Coco Montrese, and you already know that Yara has absolutely no chances of winning, because Coco Montrese, she's eating her alive. A great performance from Coco. She is the winner, and she has the lipstick of the group. And the group decided to eliminate Serena Chacha. So Serena goes home. She receives a message from RuPaul saying that the game within a game is going to start, and then the episode is over. Now, I have a confessional chart for this episode. We have the speculations to do. We are going to do it after we finish reviewing episode 2. And we are back in the workroom counting lipsticks. And something already happens in here because they shit on Serena again. At least the editor shit on Serena again, because every time Raja pulls a lipstick with Serena's name on it, all the queens echo by saying Cha-Cha. And it looks like they did it for all the lipsticks, but of course we were not shown that. Instead, we were shown reaction shots from other queens. But I am fairly confident that they probably did it for all of those lipsticks as a way to support Serena Chacha, who had like 0 screen time and was there only for 1 episode. We also find out, well, the girls also find out that Yara picked Trinity lipstick, and Trinity, I don't know how to feel about Trinity because she is joking about it, you know, she's pretending like she's taking it personal, but then we cut to a confessional, and in that confessional she kind of seems upset about it, and I am thinking, Trinity, could it be that maybe you filmed that confessional later on, maybe when the season was over, and maybe you realized that they were going to shit on Yara big time, and so maybe it would have been okay if you seemed kind of upset during a confessional. You know, I have that thought in my mind.
Sorry for that. I mean, and don't take it personal. So
I take it very personal.
I'm sorry?
I take it very personal.
I mean,
No, I'm joking.
She's no fool. Serena probably didn't even come across her radar as a competitor. I am a competitor. I am who you should be worried about.
So it's a new day in the workroom, and all the queens are around the table discussing about what the hell is trade. And you get a ton of uninformed opinion with people saying, well, trade is a masculine guy, trade is an attractive guy, and I'm like, no. That's not what trade is. Jiggly is the one that actually gets closer by saying that trade has a slightly bit of danger to it. But, you know, trade is something that comes from older times, you know, when drag was not mainstream, when a girl had to do what she had to do to go by, because, you know, those $37 in tips don't really pay the bills, so sometimes a confused guy might come around. Most of the time it would smell, wouldn't look great, but it could help you and maybe it would be fun, and that is trade. Trade is not something necessarily pleasurable. So in all of this, I'm asking you, do you know what time is it? Young Buttermutt, it's time to shit on Jen. Thank you. You are beautiful. You are all beautiful and relatable. It's time to shit on Jen. How are we going to shit on Jen this time? So Jen comes out and she's camping it up, you know, she's high energy as usual, and she echoes that famous confessional from Heidi, you know, when she said, oh, what if I am the trade of the season? She's joking about it. But of course, it's time to shit on Jen. So we are intercepted by a confessional of Jiggly saying like, no.
And so I'm gonna go with that.
Oh my God, Jan's like, yes, mama, I'm the trade of this season.
What are you talking about?
Jan looks like she belongs in the Mickey Mouse Club. How? No.
All of this taken together, it makes Jen looks insane. She is making a joke, but to us, the viewers, she looks insane. And of course, this is part of the edit as well, because I'm starting to have zero to little doubt that either she's going home next episode, or she's going to have a villain edit, and frankly, I don't know what's better for her. Now, Ru is back in the workroom and she explained the Maxi Challenge for this episode. It's going to be a Gagatondra of dresses. We have like 36 dresses, a first runway theme with blue better work, which is supposed to be blue collar working girl. Second runway theme is blue jean baby with bringing denim to the next level. And the third one is a blue ball bonanza. It's a look that the queens have to put together using the unconventional materials that were provided by the production. It's what you see on screen. screen, and it's all in a blue theme. First thing, I love doing challenges. I love seeing the creativity of drag. It's one of the best part of the season for me. The problem is that Jiggly is in there, and Jiggly managed to make 2 outfits in her season, and both of those outfits were terrible. So you know, 2 things are going to happen in this episode. Either she will win for shock value, or she's going to go home. Unfortunately, she is going to go home. But before you know it, it's already time to shit on Jen! Woo! And this time we are going to shit on Jen by using a confessional from Scarlett. So Jen is living her fantasy. She's doing really nothing in the workroom. She's like, you know, walking around, feeling her oats, saying what she's going to do. She's going to do an outfit that's going to be the next level of the outfit that she did from season 12. It's okay, it's a good concept, but of course, we need to shit on Jen. So we have a confessional from Scarlett saying that that might not be a very smart idea. And before you realize it and you think, okay, this is enough. It's been 10 minutes in, we shat on Jen twice, but you know what they say, there is no 2 without 3, so of course it's time to shit on Jen. And this time we're going to use Jiggly to do that. We have a cutaway in which we actually see Jiggly struggling from season 4. We have confessionals from Jiggly explaining her difficulties. She's trying to laugh about it, but you know, for us the viewers, we all know that the situation, it's getting dramatic for her real quick. And we have this fake smile from Jen. We have Jiggly looking not really convinced, and in this manner Jen kinda brought it to herself. What do I mean by that? You know, she has this crazy smile that you know in your heart that's a fake smile. That's not like a genuine smile. I don't know if maybe in filming that the meaning of that smile was trying to making Jiggly feel better. We will never know what really happened, but in the final edit it looks disingenuous because you have a cut of Jiggly saying, how am I going to make this glamorous? And then it cuts away to Jen saying, oh, you're going to figure it out.
So this is the challenge that I've been dreading. And I practice
but not with a blanket?
But not with a blanket.
Jiggles! I think
How can I make this glamorous?
You're gonna figure it out. I believe in you.
So she looks like a complete asshole. It's 15 minutes in, and everybody hates Jen already, and she did absolutely nothing. Now that we are done shitting on Jen, it's time to shit on Yara, because, you know, this is redemption season for some, but not for all of them. And Yara kind of brought this on herself in a way because she's acting all cocky. That's the problem with it. You know, it looks like she was kind of making fun of everybody and going like, oh yes, I'm so good, I am so fast, I can sew without looking. And you know, they can edit and patch these things together to exaggerate them and make them look worse, maybe even out of context. But, you know, she did a ton of those things. She brought it to herself. And of course, the editors are taking full advantage of that, because if you thought that Yara had a shot to the crown based on her win from episode 1, absolutely not. You got it wrong. And of course, she is intercepted by 2 confessionals calling her out for being too cocky. Now, RuPaul is back in the workroom and she has a talk with some of the girls. And the first one she calls it's Eureka. And when she calls them, you see Eureka, she has like a twitch. She's like, oh my god, what the fuck is happening? And I was living for all of that, you know.
Eureka, come on over, hon. Eureka, come on over, hon.
So she calls 3 queens. One is Eureka, the other one is Jiggly, and finally we have Raja. Eureka has a chance to have a little bit of a talk with Ru, so as Jiggly, and I'm mostly happy that they showed the part with Jiggly, because you know that she's going to go home by the end of the episode already. If you don't know it, it's something that's already in the back of your mind for the way they edited her so far. So it's nice that she has this moment. It's like the mirror moments in the the normal seasons of Drag Race, so that she can explain her growth, the way she changed, and this was really nice. It was a nice touch from the editors. And then we have Raja explaining basically her redemption arc for the viewers once more. And I want to remind you of something, because probably all the queens had a talk with Ru, but we were shown none of them, especially Jen's talk with RuPaul about our uncle passed away from, you know, the pandemic and the impact that it had on her life. But we were not shown that. We know that it happened because it was mentioned in Untucked. That's the only way we know. It was more important to have Raja explain her storyline than to have Jen talk about something that so deeply impacted her life and so many of our lives globally, because we all lost someone in the past couple of years because of that. So that was a choice again, because on one hand you need to elevate Raja's redemption arc, and on the other hand either you shit on Jen or you try to push her down as much as you possibly can. Then after this we have a nice mirror moment with Jiggly. Everybody is joking about the Saint-Tropez vibe to her dresses. It was really nice. And then Raja moderating a discussion about how the queens will decide to eliminate each other's. And apart from that, not much happens. So let's go immediately to the runway and let's see what these bitches wear for this 36 Gagatondra of dresses. Before we begin to actually critiquing the girls, please keep in mind that you're listening to opinions about somebody with no fashion sense whatsoever. So you might want to reconsider your priorities in life. I'm just saying. I am just saying. We have 3 dresses. 2 dresses were brought from home, and one was actually constructed during filming for this episode. So in my opinion, if I have to score these bitches one way or another, I would give them basically 5 points for their outfits. 1 for each outfit that they brought from home, and 3 for the one that they actually constructed. Because I don't know if you made the outfit that you brought from home. I don't know if you bought it. I don't know if you designed it. I don't know if you paid someone to design it. So for me, this shouldn't be a battle of who has more money to bring outfits to Drag Race. So I will give them credit for those outfits, but not as much as the one that they actually constructed from the challenge. First up is Raja O'Hara. Number 1 from Raja, she is a project manager. I didn't like this outfit. To me it was too simple, there was no shape to it, and the concept overall was weak. I didn't like it. I will give her 0 point for this one. The denim themed outfit, for me, it was very well done. It's draggy, it fits really well, it looks beautiful, it screams denim. This is top notch and she gets full points for this one. And the third one, the eye fashion blue look, it's incredible. It's nothing less than incredible. You know that when you look at this outfit, you know that Raja came to slay. This is easily the best looking dress in the whole category. She looks stunning, and this really looks like something you would buy. This really looks high fashion to me. I don't know if it's because I have a fucked up sense of fashion or because this really is a fashionable outfit, but it was incredible. It doesn't even look made with unconventional materials. This is such a good concept for Raja. For me, she gets full point for this one. So at the end of the day, out of 5, to me she gets 4 points and she should score as high. Moving on to Kylie. The first outfit, it's a carpenter look. She looks beautiful. I think it's well constructed. I think bringing the hammer and the toolbox only added to the whole illusion. I think it fits well. It was creative, and to me she gets full point for this one. The denim look, it's easily the best in the denim category. She looks fantastic. I don't know how she managed to cover those nipples, but everything else that I'm served, it's like I am bowing to you. You are a goddess and I am completely sold. Full points for this one as well. The blue look, it looks good, but At this point, I'm starting to think maybe you're relying on that body too much. I mean, I can see the effort that she put in the dress. I like it. It doesn't look unconventional, which is a good thing because that's the material you start with. And making it look like something that you would buy is exactly the point of the challenge. So for me, she did a good job, but nowhere near on par with Raja. So for me, it's 2 points out of 3 for this outfit, for a total of 4, and she's high as well. Moving on to Eureka. Now, the first outfit for Eureka, she's supposed to be a crossing guard. I don't like it. I didn't like it. To me, it's too simple. I can see that there was effort in this outfit. I can see that. But personally, I don't like it. For me, she gets half the points on this one. Now, the denim dress, it's the one that actually surprised me. Because at a first look, I thought, this looks really heavy. This looks really busy. But then, in a way, well, whoever made this outfit managed to bring some lightness to it. I think it looks great on her, there is effort behind it, and she gets full points for me. The problem is the blue outfit. I don't know what the fuck this is, I don't know how is it supposed to be working, but I can see her camel toe, and I wish I couldn't see it. I cannot unsee it. I appreciate the effort, but I don't like this thing. Whatever this thing is, I don't like it. I will give her half the points on this for the effort, but I don't like it. For me, she ends up with 3 points out of 5. She is safe. Moving on to Jen. And you know that it's not time to shit on Jen again. It's not time to shit on Jen again. I don't know what Jen is supposed to be in the first outfit. Maybe a mechanic, whatever it is. She looks like the fashionable wife of the Michelin Man. She looks fantastic. This outfit is beautiful. The concept is blowing my mind. I don't know how much money Jen spent to come for All Stars, but you can see that she spent a ton of money on that. For me, Jen, for this outfit, she gets full points. The problem is, I don't know what the fuck you are, Jen. What are you? Are you a tire? Are you a mechanic? From the chat, Groover Orna, some people get different descriptions for this category. I don't know who said that. I think it was Art Simone. Yes, it's a very well-known rumor. That's why I'm giving them a pass on this one, because you never know what production really did. Sometimes they will slightly change the name of the runway theme only to make some queens look worse and some queens look better, as if they embrace the concept more. Now, number 2. You can see again that she spent a lot of money on her denim look. But I don't know what this is. I'm having a seizure looking at it. I don't like the shape. It's not a terrible dress, but we've seen better. For me, it's half the points on this one. And the blue look. The blue look looks fantastic. It's not blowing my mind, but it's done really well. The skirt kind of reminds me of something that Widow Von Du did on season 12, only elevated a little bit more. You can see the effort. It doesn't look like cheap materials, and even though I don't like the skirt so much, the overall outfit for me, it works. And I will give her 2 points out of 3. So in the end, Jen gets 3.5. And to me, she's in a safe position. Who do we have next? Jiggly Caliente, the embodiment of less is more. With her first outfit, she is a sanitation worker. I thought it was a great concept. It worked really well. The outfit is simple, but it fits very well. She has a shape. It was overall a very great presentation from Jiggly from the first outfit. The problem is, from here on, it's going to go downhill. So she gets full points on this outfit. Moving on to the denim look. The denim look, it fits well. It is simple, like very, very simple. It works as a concept, it fits well, it looks good, but it's not very elaborate and nowhere near on par to what everybody else did. So I'm going to give her half the point, and I'm already generous with it. And then we get to the third look, and by this point you start to realize this is just too simple. Yes, sometimes less is more, but you cannot bring less all of the time. And you know that Jiggly can sew, you know that Jiggly looks good in many dresses, but if you tell her to make one, it's going to go downhill. And this was terrible. She tried her best with this. I like the way she made this cut that shows her shoulder. I think it's very well fitting, but there is nothing else going on. So for me, she gets half a point out of 3 for this outfit. It was a terrible runway for Jiggly. She gets a total of 2 points, putting her in the bottom. Next up, the resident queen of Puerto Vallarta. Well, what can I say? In the first outfit, she's supposed to be a milkman, and I am thinking maybe there is a cultural barrier in here, but are milkmen supposed to look red? Do they wear red? Because I thought they wore a white outfit. Why is she wearing red? I don't get it. I don't think that the outfit is well fitting. I think the padding is completely off. It's going to be a common theme for the resident queen in this runway. She will have terrible padding throughout the whole runways. For me, it's half the points on this outfit. For her denim look, I don't know what the fuck this is. I think it looks terrible. The fringes are all in the wrong places. I don't know what this is. I just don't want to look at it. It's awful. It's just awful. I am sorry. But this to me, it's awful. She should burn it. She should turn it and burn it. So no, 0 points on this one. And then we have the denim look. And I want to poke my eyes with hot needles because this thing makes no sense to me. I don't know if I'm losing something, but it makes no sense. It's ill-fitting. The pants are, I don't get it. Listen, I don't get it. I don't want to spend too much time talking about this because you will start to think, well, yeah, you don't like it because you don't like her. But trust me, I'm trying my best in here. The padding is atrocious on this dress. And this is a nice picture that you see here for her blue look. Because there are pictures from Untucked that really show how off the padding really was. This was terrible. I can see that she put effort in this, but this is almost Jiggly levels of bad. So for me, she gets 1 point out of 3 for this outfit, for a total of 1.5 points, and to me, she should have been in the bottom for this, period. Moving on to Scarlet. For Scarlet's first look, I don't really know what she was supposed to be. I didn't get it from the dress. I mean, the dress is beautiful. She looks fantastic. But I see the blades coming off, but I don't really... What is she? Is she a metal worker? Is she... I don't know. I didn't get it. It didn't translate for me. For me, she gets half the points. Next up is the denim look. And my god, Scarlet made a killing with this look. It looks fantastic. It's sexy. I think that the addition of that hole in the hat with the wig peeking through, it was genius. It was nothing less than genius. And to me, this was one of the best outfits in this category. Point blank. It's nowhere near Kylie, but you know, you can try to reach for the stars. You can try. And she's the one that is trying the hardest. So for me, she gets full points on this outfit. And the blue look. And the blue look is really on par with Raja. This is easily one of the best dresses in this category. I don't know if I was more impressed with Raja because she appeared before her. But this thing looks beautiful. It's glamorous. It doesn't look like unconventional material. I like this piece that she has on the shoulder. I think it brings a nice asymmetry to the whole thing. It's really, really well done. She looks stunning. She looks ready for the red carpet. It's beautiful. To me, it's full points on this one. So Scarlet, for me, she is the winner of this challenge with 4.5 points, just a tiny bit away from Raja. You might think the opposite because maybe you liked something more from Raja and something less from Scarlet, but you know, at the very least, I think we can all agree that they were the top two in this challenge. Who is next up? Akira. First outfit for Akira. She is supposed to be a sexy welder. I didn't get that at all. I know that she's camping it up. She has her hands stuck in a pipe, but you know, Welders, yeah, sometimes they might occasionally weld pipes, but you know, when I think of a welder, I think of welding equipment. And there is no welding equipment there to be seen. I mean, she looks good in the outfit, but to me it doesn't really fit the challenge at all, because I didn't get what she was, like, you know, like Scarlett before. So for me, this outfit is off the points. Now, the second look, the denim look. I think that for this look, she actually looked sexy as hell. She looks fantastic. I mean, again, nowhere near Kylie. Kylie is a goddess, but she is getting there. She is getting there. So she knows how to do sexy. She is sexy. She looks fantastic. But this thing reads lace to me, not denim. And looking closer, I'm not even sure it's actually made of denim. I don't know if in the episodes they mentioned it about her. They did mention it about Yara. So based on that, for me, she gets half the points for this outfit. Just because it doesn't look denim, and I don't think it's denim. But everything else looks fantastic. And the third one, the blue look. This I didn't like. I am sorry, I see the effort in there. She cut all those cups, she put them together, she tried to give the dress a shape. She has this opening in the front, which is flattering. But I don't like this outfit from Akira. When she walks on it, it's like this stiff things that seems like it's living a life of its own. It's moving forward on its own, and then you have Akira on the inside moving around. I didn't like it. It's a good effort, but it's not a very creative effort. She could have done so much more, and she didn't. So for me, she gets half the points on this outfit as well, for a total of 2.5. So for me, Akira was low on this challenge. Next up, we have Auntie Pandy. For the first outfit, Pandy is supposed to be a lunch lady, and then she has a reveal and she becomes Lady Lunchbox. This was really smart. It totally read like Lunch Lady. She did an incredible job on this outfit. For me, it's a good concept. It's well executed. It's nothing spectacular, mind you, but you know, it's all the marks for the challenge. So for me, she gets full points on this one. Now, the denim look. It reads denim. I will give her that. But I hated this outfit. I'm sorry, Pandora, I love you, but I hate this outfit. She looks like a denim version of Pennywise the Clown. I don't know if it's because it reminds me of that. I don't know what it is. I see the effort. I see that it was expensive. But no, I didn't like this one. So for me, it's half the points on this one. And for the blue look. Now, Pandora is no seamstress. She tries, Lord knows she tries her best, but, you know, it's not very creative. It really looks like a piece of fabric with ribbons on it. So, you know, I know that she put her best effort in it, but at the end of the day, this didn't look good. Let's be honest with it. This didn't look good. It looks stiff, you know, it looks like there is no shape to it. I don't know. I didn't like it. I'm sorry. I'm giving her 1 point out of 3 on this outfit. In the end, she has 2.5, so for me, she's a low. Next up, who do we have? Yara Sofia. Now, the construction worker outfit from Yara. I hate it. I'm sorry, I hate it. I think the makeup is terrible. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I see the titties, which is a good thing, but all in all, this was... I don't know, this was lazy. This didn't work for me. I don't like it. I don't like... No, I don't like it. I'm sorry, Yara. I'm sorry. For me, this is 0 points. The second one, the denim outfit. This outfit is beautiful. It fits incredible. I love that the pants are pussy low. That's always a good thing. It doesn't really read denim to me, and according to what was said in the episode, it wasn't even denim. And we should take that into account, because she looks stunning. I will give her that. She looks stunning. But the challenge is denim, and if you're not using it, it doesn't matter how good you look. You still didn't use denim. So for me, she gets half a point on this outfit. And the third one, it looks good. There is no contest on that. I don't know if she actually stoned the corset, and I wish that there was like an opening between the corset and the actual skirt, because it feels like there is a need of a break in the middle. The skirt doesn't fit very well to me. This is what I want to say. All in all, it looks good. She did a good job. The problem is, from an editing perspective, we were shown Yara being lazy, being cocky, and then we are served something that, in all honesty, looked like it's a little bit unfinished. You know, she could have used working on that skirt for at least 1 more hour and perfect it, and she would have looked good. Nothing to blow me away like Raja did, for example, but she would have looked good. So for me, it's 2 points out of 3 on this outfit, for a total of 2.5, and to me, Yara is low as well. Next up, we have Ginger Minj. The first outfit from Ginger Minj, I got immediately what she is. She is Super Mario. She is not a plumber. She is Super Mario. It's a fantastic concept. It is simple, but it's effective. So she nailed the first challenge. It works great. It's a beautiful concept. It's stupid, and stupid always works with me. Full points on this one. Now, the denim look. I don't know what she was going for, but I didn't get it, and I hated those pants. Why does she has a belt under her titties? Because it enhances her belly. It looks like she swallowed a ball. It's not well fitting, it's not a good shape. Ginger, what the fuck was going on? She looks good from the titties up. This is what I wanted to say. So for me, this outfit is off the points for Ginger. And the third look, guys, I don't know. Is this a jacket? Is this a dress? I don't know. It looks like she's ready for a rainy day. It's sloppy. It's really sloppy to me. I don't say this lightly, but to me, this was not good. This is a jacket. There is no shade. There's nothing going on in here. It looks really low effort. Now, if I zoom in the details, I can see that the effort probably was put in there, but at the end of the day, if it looks low effort, it's nowhere near what some of the other queens did for this challenge. So for me, this gets 1 point out of 3 for a total of 2.5, and to me, she is low as well. Next up, and last one, is Trinity K. Bonet. Trinity is a crossing guard, but for me this was done way worse than what Eureka managed to do, because these pants, these shoes, they are unforgivable. You can see that Eureka put effort in it, well, or whatever, whoever made the outfit for Eureka. There were a ton of little details. I didn't like it very much, but I can understand the concept. Trinity did the same concept, and in comparison, there is no comparison. This is just terrible. For me, it's no points on this one. And then we get to the second outfit, and I was completely blown away by the second outfit. You know, Trinity looks like this alchemist from the 70s who is going to drop acid in your mouth and you're going to see the universe in a grain of sand. It's a full concept. She is acting the concept on stage. This is fantastic. This was incredible from Trinity. Full points on this one. Fantastic, fantastic. I cannot praise it enough. And then we get to the blue look. Do you remember with Jiggly I said the first outfit is good and then it's going downhill? We have the exact opposite with Trinity. The more we see, the exponentially better it gets. This outfit was incredible. She looks like a Disney princess. And she managed to do that with materials that were basically shit. It's elaborate, it's very well done. She is acting the concept on the runway, which is something that we didn't really see many other queens do, you know, with the shoe that she left on the runway. It's beautiful. It's well executed. It was nothing less than beautiful. It brought me like in a dream state. So for me, full points on this one for a total of 4 points. And to me, Trinity was high, on par with Raja and Kylie, with the winner, of course, for me as well, being Scarlett with a total of 4.5. Let's move on to the Cryptiques. I agree with everything that they said for Raja and Kylie. I have nothing to say there, so I'm not going to make up shit so that I can say something. I agree with them. It's something that never happens, but sometimes it does happen, and it's happening really often in All Stars. And this is why I'm also liking this season so much. On the other hand, we have some bullshit going on. With Eureka, for example, they told her that they loved her outfit so much. They are talking about the first outfit. I don't dislike it, I don't like it either. For the second outfit, they love the necklace humor. That's all you have to say for that outfit? The necklace humor? The whatever. And the third one, oh Eureka, you were so confident. It was really well done, and she looked like a star. And I'm like, take your eyes off of her pussy, because you're not looking at the outfit. You're not looking at the outfit. That thing was not really well done. Come on, have you seen anybody else on that runway? That thing was not really well done. Where was Trinity? Trinity was safe. While Eureka was declared high, Trinity was safe and Scarlett was safe again. Don't forget about Scarlett. For me, she was the best one. She was safe. So you can make your math on that. The next one is Jiggly. Number 1, it was cute. Okay, kind of agree with that. It was cute. It was also one of the best executed concepts in this category. The fact that she brought that prop with everybody's name on that, it worked 2000%. For the second one, they loved the hair. Well, I guess they had to say something nice. But they didn't love anything from the neck down. And it looked like a look that she bought at a store. And I kind of agree with that. And for the third outfit, they said this is not enough for All Stars. It's a blanket with rhinestones. Good God. And it's not up to the level of the other girls. Now, I see other outfits that were really bad. Now, Jiggly, it's clearly the worst outfit in this category. But, I find it interesting that the judges managed to be so real when it's convenient to the storyline. Because, yes, Jiggly was bad, but they read her to filth. She had to go home no matter what, so they better as well read her to filth. Then we have Akira. The first outfit was fun. They didn't know who she was as soon as she came out, and I agree with all of this. Fun, yeah, it was kind of funny. It wasn't as fun as somebody else because, there were queens in there that camp it up real good. It looks like Akira tried her best, but that's not really her element. Camp, it's not really her element. For number 2, they said it was too much of a club outfit instead of a drag race outfit, and I'm thinking, yes, okay, if you want to bring that shit up, that's completely fine. But this was supposed to be a denim dress. There is no mention of the fact that this thing does read lace more than denim, and maybe the fabric was not even denim, but we have no mention on that. So Akira has been given a good push on this Cryptiques. And the third one, they are super fans of this look. She has an artistic vision, she is amazing, and she make it bigger. I don't know what it means, maybe I fucked up my notes. And I'm like, no, this outfit is terrible. There's a ton of effort behind it, and she will get all the credit for it. She used a very, very unconventional material because she made this with plastic cups, but this is not an artistic vision. And then we get to Yara. Yara, they read to filth, because of course she has to be in the bottom. For the first outfit, they said they had no idea it was a construction worker, and the titties were redundant. I agree with that. I didn't have much of an idea that she was supposed to be a construction worker, and she does really look like shit. But the fact that they brought up the redundancy of the titties, I don't get it. You're crazy. They're crazy. Number 2, they said it wasn't super denim-y, it looked like a print. And I'm like, yes, okay, I get it. I think the same thing. Can we talk for a moment about how great she looks? Because nothing of that has been said in here. We cannot say how good the dress fit, how great of a shape she gets, how sexy she looks. There is none of this, because she has to be in the bottom. So the only thing that they say are the negative ones. Well, it doesn't look like denim. Well, guess what? Maybe it's not denim, and she's not the only one. And for the third one, they say, oh, it's very creative, you did an awesome job, but there is too much going on, and it's confusing to the eye. There are so many things that you can say as to why this outfit didn't work, but this is not exactly the definition of confusing to the eye. Have you seen other girls out there? Nobody is trying to hide the fact that this outfit needed more work. But you cannot come out and say, oh, this is bad, this is too much going on, this is confusing. No, this is not confusing. This looks like a missed opportunity. It's not difficult to say. This was a missed opportunity. But at least they do recognize that she is creative and that she did a good job. At least. That was all the queens for the Cryptiques. Fairly good Cryptiques in general. You can still see that they're trying to push storylines, especially with the queens that they decide to declare safe. It's not as bad as Season 13. Thank God the Cryptiques are not as bad as Season 13. D15, I think the judges was traumatized by Silky's last outfit and they projected it on Yara. Silky was safe. Can we talk for a moment about the fact that Silky was safe for this runway? She missed all the mark on I'm sorry, did I say Silky? I meant the resident queen of Puerto Vallarta. She was safe. This makes no sense. This makes no sense. At all. At all. Now, what happens after the Cryptiques? The girls go back in the workroom and there is Untucked. Now, there is not much going on. It's just another bunch of yada yada, except one of the worst Frankenstein confessionals ever. Because you see here, Ginger, they patched together 3 different sentences so that she would look like she was critiquing Yara. Did I say Yara? You see what happens in this episode? I keep saying Yara because everybody says Yara. It's fucking Yara.
I think it's really important to just look at the challenge at hand.
Yara did do objectively worse in the first 2 categories. Yara did do objectively worse.
It's so sloppy. And I'm curious, what the hell did Ginger really say? Was she really critiquing Yara? Was she talking about something else? I don't know. We might never know, but it was done so badly and I think everybody noticed that. Oh, we have the lip sync. This lip sync was incredible. It was one of the best lip sync in ages. They are both at 200. They are giving it all. Brooklyn looks amazing. Raja is like, she is unstoppable. Everyone is owning that damn stage. This was a double win. Not the bullshit double Shantae or whatever it is that we got on Season 13. This is what a lip sync is supposed to look like. They did a fantastic job. This double win was very, very well earned. I would hope that at least the lip sync assassin would get some coins. You know, they probably get paid to get there, but it would be nice if they would be like, okay, then you split the $20,000 tip. And before we find out about the Queen's lipsticks and who they decided to eliminate, do you know what time is it? Because yes, it's time to shit on Jan. Yes, it's always time to shit on Jan. And this time we're going to do it through a confessional. We make her look as if she is at 500 constantly. And we have this overactive confessional from Jan that couldn't come at a worse time, that makes her look completely deranged and insane. You have to finish watching All Star thinking that Jan is complete shit. I don't know how she manages to be so professional outside of this. This would drive me completely crazy. Now, we find out that both the group and Raja voted for Jiggly, so Jiggly goes home. Am I happy with this outcome? So and so, because Yara was in the bottom with Jiggly. She didn't deserve to be there. The resident queen of Puerto Vallarta should have been in the bottom with Jiggly and should have gone home. But unfortunately, it was Yara and Jiggly, and in a way, I think Jiggly could have used a little bit more of the attention for All Stars, because Yara is already iconic. Jiggly came out of her season a complete mess, so we know from social media that she made an incredible growth in these past years. She changed, she's a different person, and I'm not just talking about her transition, I'm talking about the maturity as a person and as a professional. At least I would have liked one more episode with Jiggly. I would have been okay with giving up Yara. You know, at least I can look back and say, yes, but Yara had her moments during 2 different seasons. So I still wouldn't have liked it, but having to choose between the 2 things, I would have liked to see a little bit more of Jiggly. Yeah, without a doubt. Moving on, let's go to the confessional charts and the speculations. As usual, if you don't want any possible spoilers, this is the moment where you should stop watching the video. So thank you so much for joining us so far. If you would like to support what we do, you can give this video a like, sharing it, or even supporting us on Patreon. And there's a link for that in the video description. Also, don't forget that The Chop is a live show, so if you would like to join in, just turn on the notification and hopefully YouTube will advise you when the next stream will come up. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. This is the confessional chart for episode 1. One of the first things that you notice is that you have zero confessionals from Jen, Kylie, and Scarlett. I took out all of the introduction confessionals, you know, the one that I showed you a chart for in the very beginning of the review for episode 1. Those I've taken out because I don't consider them part of the core of the episode itself. So we see nothing from Jen, Kylie, and Scarlett. And you know, the moment you see nothing, it either is a very good thing or a very bad thing. Now, based on the context in which everything happened, I think this is a really good thing only for Kylie, because Jen, they are shitting on Jen as much as they possibly can. She looks like she's really going to be the villain of this season, and the fact that we don't really have a moment to bond with her during the confessionals, to me, it's really telling. And the same thing is happening with Scarlett. Twice she was deserving either of winning or at least being high, and both times she was safe. So she's being janned, she's being denalied, and you know, next season we will probably say to the next queen she's been scarleted. Then we have negative confessionals for Trinity and Yara, and while I was watching episode 1 I thought, oh shit, they're going to make Trinity into a villain. I don't think so. I think they will be doing it with Yara. They might have edited some confessionals from Trinity to look more in a negative light, only to exacerbate a fight between the two of them, and they were not really meant to push down her head, because from what happened in episode 2, it looks like Trinity is going for another redemption edit. She started in the bottom and then it's slowly rising to the top, because we've seen Yara going completely down while Trinity is doing better and better. So I don't know if being in the bottom in the first episode will really take away any chances for her for being in the top. Personally, I think that if we have a top 4, we will at least have 2 queens of color, and while I believe that one spot is absolutely going to be Raja, I think the second spot could very well go to Trinity. She is getting so much more screen time than Akira. Akira is not doing very well, at least in the first 2 episodes, so I think Trinity has a much better shot. Other than that, Ginger is making a killing in episode 1. She has only positive confessionals. She is not even narrating. So if they're going to have a big girl spot in the top 4, I think Ginger has the best possibility out of them all. And then we have Raja. Raja is the second queen with the most confessionals, the most confessional time. She is narrating most of the episode. She is in full front. This first episode is all about Raja, but in the subtext. It's in her reaction, it's in her confessionals, it's in the global narration. She is dominating this episode without nobody even realizing it. Moving on to the confessional for episode 2. It's this one. And we already see that some things are really going downhill for some queens. Yara has only either narrating or negative confessionals. And by this point, I would already start to see that Yara has like no possibilities whatsoever to ever go to the top 4. She had a win in the very beginning, and immediately the edit went out of his way so that you wouldn't get convinced that she actually has a shot. You know, it's the same thing that happened with Utica in season 12. She wins one episode, immediately after we thrown her under the bus. Don't get it twisted, she doesn't have a chance. You know, this is the message that I get from this. And again, topping the confessional chart, we have Raja and Trinity, and both of them had a very good edit this episode, especially Raja. Raja even won the challenge. So if anything was subtext for episode 1, now in episode 2, it's full blown in your face. She is our redempted villain. She's getting full redemption. I'm happy for Raja. It's great for you. But some other people are going to be inevitably thrown under the bus. And what I mean by that, I mean Scarlett and Jan. They completely disappeared this episode, as well as Akira and Pandora. Now, for Pandora, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because she was kind of gave a little bit of a push in both in episode 1 and in episode 2, so I'm not going to complain about the fact that we have no confessionals from her. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Who disappeared in this episode was the resident queen of Puerto Vallarta. We saw almost nothing of her, and this I think it's going to be a recurrent theme, and for a reason. And here is the chart for episode 1 and episode 2, so that we can get a global view of what the hell is happening. Now, of these 11 queens that you see here, you have 6 queens who have almost no screen times in the confessionals. And they are Kylie, Scarlett, Akira, Jan, Pandora, and the resident queen of Puerto Vallarta. Now, if you remember in season 12, we had the first 2 episodes and there were almost no confessionals whatsoever for Crystal Method. And what I told you at the time was, listen, this is an editing trick. They are kind of sneaking these queens so that you don't really see them, so that the moment that they go out with a bang, and they are kind of the silent assassins of the season. You know, you don't even see that coming, a la Jinx, for example. And I think this is exactly what's going to happen with Kylie and maybe even Pandora. I think Kylie for sure, because let's face it, she is extremely on par with what the CBS Viacom Corporation wants in terms of representation. She is beautiful, she is talented, she is totally deserving of a second chance. So I can see a kind of silent assassin edit going on for Kylie all the way to the top 4, and possibly even to the win. For Pandora, I don't know, it could be, but you know that this show, it's not really kind to older queens, and Pandora, I think she was 49 when she filmed for this season, so maybe it could be. I have hopes for that, but I cannot really be sure of it. Now Scarlett, I don't think this is going to happen with her. I think they're going to sleep on Scarlett throughout the whole season. The first 2 episodes, the fact that she was just safe when she should have been on the top or even winning, it's very, very telling of the way they're going to portray her. But at least it doesn't look like she's going to get a villain edit. Akira is another queen that's not really doing very well in this competition for me. She gets almost no screen time. What we get to see, it's not really good. But at least, again, it doesn't look like she's going to be portrayed as a villain. That villain, it's going to be Jen, at least based on what we've saw so far. And if the rumors are true that she's really going on social media saying that she is the villain of the season, well, it's just another proof. They're giving her like zero screen time. Every time she's on screen is because the editor are shitting on her. It's not looking good for Jen. I don't think she has any chance whatsoever to go to the top 3 unless she embraces her villain edit in the filming of the season, and in that case, if indeed she did that, she could reach the top with a villain edit. Otherwise, no way in hell. And then we have the resident queen of Puerto Vallarta. Now, I want you to remember that this network, this company, had zero tolerance for people who didn't take the lockdown seriously. You see what happened with Gigi Good? They were full on embracing being responsible during this pandemic. And you know that they edited All Stars between September of last year and probably maybe even a month before the season actually started. They know she went on vacation on January, and this is not going to sit well with the network at all. I think they are editing her out of the season. I don't think that she is just not doing well. I don't know what's going on with Silky. It could be that she reached the top 4, it could be that then she did very well in the season, but the hunch that I have is that they are editing her out as much as possible. Silky is disappearing. Sorry, I keep saying Silky, I mean the resident queen of Puerto Vallarta. She is disappearing. I think they are editing her out, and with good reason, because that's not the kind of shit that the network is going to tolerate. Now, for the queens with more confessionals, Raja is clearly dominating everything. She has zero negative confessionals, she is narrating most of the time, and she had tons of positive confessionals. So it's Trinity, with some negative confessionals coming in from episode 1. But for me, that's not enough to exclude her from the possibility of getting to the top 4. Yara is doing terrible. Honestly, I hope she goes home as soon as possible because they are destroying her. That's the same thing that I said for Jen is for Yara as well. When you get that kind of edit, you have to wish to, reduce the damage as much as possible. Ginger is doing fantastic. She doesn't have as much confessional time as Trinity or Raja, but when she is on screen, she is the center of attention. She is doing really well. And compared to Eureka, to me, she is the one who has the best chance of the two to reach the top 4. Because, Eureka, she has this cluelessness that it is in fact endearing, but she has nowhere near the professionalism of Ginger. So, if in the top 4 they're going to reserve a spot for a big girl, and I think they will, based on the representation politics, I think that the big girl in top 4 will be Ginger over Eureka, and without any doubt, over the resident queen of Puerto Vallarta. If for some reason Ginger and Eureka don't get to the top 4, but the resident queen gets there, then she has no chance of winning. The network will never allow it, so get that thought out of your head immediately. Now, who else do we have on the top 4? Kylie for sure, there is no doubt about that. Remember the pre-show that I did before season 12 even started, that I told you this is representation, keep your eyes on Gottmik, because after the shit show that we had for the past years, this is exactly what they want and exactly what they need. And what happened? Gottmik got to the top 4. Some people say she deserved it. I am not sure about that. I like the idea that she was there. I'm not so sure she deserved it. If Gottmik got to the top 4, Kylie can win this shit. So, along with Ginger, I would put Kylie there. Raja, of course, she has an incredible redemption arc, and they are working very hard on that. We've seen it in episode 1, we've seen it again in episode 2. It's done so well, and I would be really surprised if Raja is not in the top 4, seeing all the effort that they actually put on her head. The only other queen who had so much effort used for her edit was Jen, so that they could shit on Jen. That was the only other queen. So for me, I would be really surprised if Raja is not on the top 4. Because I don't see the sense of working so hard on their own. Maybe she fucked the producer. and they said we need to portray her well. That could be. That could be. Who is the fourth queen that could get to the top? I don't know. Maybe it is the resident queen of Puerto Vallarta. Maybe it's Pandora. I don't think Jenna, Kyria, or Scarlet have any chance based on what I saw so far. No, Yara, no. Yara, not for sure. Or maybe Trinity. Trinity is the other one. So Trinity, Pandora, Kyria, no. Kyria, no. Trinity or Pandora. So for the moment I'm staying with this. Maybe Trinity more than Pandora. She is getting more screen time, she has an actual storyline going on, while Pandora has no storyline whatsoever. But we're going to see about that. These are very, very early predictions. Maybe everything will change next episode. Because, you know, shock value is always something that we have to worry about. So I would be really shocked if Raja gets Manilad, for example. That would be really shocking for me. But in a way, I hope that something like this happens, because that's great television when it happens. But we're going to see with the speculations for next episode. One last thing that I want to talk about is this thing of a game within a game. Now, I have no idea what they are going to do, but I kind of have a hunch, because this thing that they released 2 episodes at once, for me it's really, really strange. Because think about it, you have a network with a subscription fee every month. What you want to have is to have as many episodes as possible to come out once a week. Or you can do it the Netflix way and release a whole season at once. But having 2 episodes come out now and then once a week, it makes no sense to me. So I started thinking, what if we really do get 2 episodes every week? What if they manage to do something with the eliminated queens, like an alternative episodes a la... what was the name of that show? Survivor. They're going to do it like Survivor. Like we have one normal episode and then another episode with only the eliminated queens. I would love something like that, and it would actually make sense, the fact that they had 2 episodes coming out this week. So, because it would be 2 episodes every week. The normal episode along with the eliminated queens episodes, and if they do something like that, I would be really, really happy. I would be pissed off because of the amount of work that needs to be finished for the live streams, but it would be a genius idea. And with that said, I finished the longest review for the Chop ever. As usual, a huge thank you to our patrons who tip our assets every month, and if you would like to help us as well, there's a link in the description for that. Thank you so much for watching, and see you back on Sunday.